Hello guys, welcome to the session for Cliqtrix on getting started with Zoho SalesIQ Zobot. So I'll give you a brief introduction to Zoho SalesIQ and then also about the Zobot. So I'll quickly take you through the basic steps that you will have to follow to get the Zobot running on your website. So let's get started right away. So what is SalesIQ? The Zobot is basically a bot building platform that is available on Zoho SalesIQ. So there might be a few of you who are already familiar with what SalesIQ is and how it works, or you might have read about it. So for those of you who are completely new to this, let me brief you on what SalesIQ is. So it's a hassle-free live chat software that was designed for customer support, business growth, sales, marketing, customer engagement, and so much more. So it's basically live chat, visitor tracking, audio calls, mobile SDK, and powerful chatbots, which is the Zobot, and so much more that's rolled onto just one platform. So here in today's session, we'll focus on the Zobot, how you can build them, and how you will have to set up a website before you build a Zobot and all of that. So in SalesIQ, you have features for your prospects like visitor tracking. You have intelligent triggers to make chats more personal. Then you have lead scoring to identify the potential visitors on your website. Then you have campaign integration, and to keep your prospects engaged, you have chat conversations, obviously our live chat, and then you have audio calls, which is a very recent addition, and you have chatbots, and then CRM integration. And to retain all of the prospects that you have been engaging so far, you have in-chat articles, FAQs, and then you have chat routing, you have feedback management, you have help desk integration. So this is just a little bit of what you can do with SalesIQ. There's so much more that you can do. So I'll show you how to create a website and install Zoho SalesIQ's live chat code. So for this, you have basically two options. You can either use Weebly or you can stick to building it with Zoho sites. I'll show you both of these, how you will have to build websites on both of these. So we'll begin with Zoho sites first. You will have to get into sites.zoho.com. Okay. So here is where you will be creating your website. So this website is basically for deploying the bot that you're going to build. So the bot will start taking up conversations that your operators have been handling in case they're not available or in case they're busy with handling other chats. So in that case, the bot will take up chats that come up on this particular website that you're creating. Okay. So let's jump into creating the website. So once you get into sites.zoho.com, this one has a list of sites because I've already created a few. So you will click on create new website. So first, to get started with building your website, it will ask you for a name. So I'm just going to give a name for my website. Okay. So, and then I'll proceed forward to the template gallery. So here you have a huge bunch of templates that Zoho Sites offers. You can choose one according to your business's requirements. So I'm just going to stick to this. Once you choose the template, Zoho Sites will start building the basics for you. So here on the left hand side, you have all of the options. So you can add whatever you want to. According to the customizations that you want for your website. You can add code snippets, you can add embeds, you can add images and all of that. So the basic template will have whatever is absolutely necessary for a website. And beyond that, any customization is totally up to you. So I'm going to tell you how you can enable Zoho SalesIQ's live chat widget on this website. So this live chat widget is where your bot will be functioning when operators are not available. So in order to enable the live chat widget on the website, you will go to settings on the top of the page. You will click on settings. And then you'll go to the integrations section. And you'll click on Zoho SalesIQ live chat. and you will choose the portal name. Okay, and you'll also choose the app inside SalesIQ, and you'll just enable this toggle button. Okay, so once you enable this toggle button and click on connect, the Zoho SalesIQ live chat widget will be added to your website. Okay, so now since we've enabled the live chat widgets, let's go back and publish our website. So you'll know what it will look like once the live chat widget has been enabled. So I'm clicking on publish. Now it will ask me for a domain. Okay, so this subdomain is available. This is a subdomain of Zoho Sites. You can also add your own domain. So I'm just clicking on proceed to publish. So my site has been published. Let's go and look at how the live chat widget is. So can you see this? This is the live chat, SalesIQ's live chat widget that has been enabled. So when you build a website using Zoho Sites, you don't really have to manually embed the live chat widget code inside your website's build. You just have to enable the toggle, and the live chat widget will be available on your website. So the next is with Weebly. So let me show you how to create a website with Weebly. So here inside Weebly, in case you haven't created any websites previously, you will just get an option to add sites. Since I've created a bunch of websites here, I have a drop down, and so I'm going to click on add site. So let me just say I just need a website. Okay, so again I'm going to be choosing a template and click on start editing. So here I'll tell you how you have to embed the code, right? So you have a live chat code that has to be embedded on your website to enable the live chat widget. So for that, you will have a panel on the left hand side where you have all of these different elements that you can add to a website. So from here, you will just click and drag the embed code option. Okay, and you will click on set custom HTML and click on edit. So this is where you'll paste the SalesIQ live chat code. So before we go into that, let me just publish it. So for that, I will need a domain. And done. Okay, so I'm just going to click on it. I've published my website. Okay, so I'll show you where the code will be available inside your SalesIQ portal. Okay, so we are going to be adding this website. So inside the SalesIQ portal, you will navigate to settings, websites, and then click on create new, and you will paste your website URL here, and you will click on create. So we have created the website. Now you click on live chat widget, and here's where you'll find the live chat code. So you will copy this code. This will also appear on your initial screen when you're creating a new portal. So you can either copy the live chat code from there or from this section. So once you've copied the code, you'll go back to the editor and you will paste the code here. Okay, and we're going to publish it again. So here it is, the live chat widget. Yes. So this is how you create websites using Weebly or Zoho Sites. So you can stick to Zoho Sites because it's easier to embed the live chat widget. Okay. So now we'll go back to our Zobot. So I'll tell you what the Zobot is. So the Zobot is a bot development platform that's available inside SalesIQ. So with this, SalesIQ users can build very, very compelling and automated bots that ease customer interaction. So we can program the bots to respond, to act, and to qualify customers who land on any website, right? So these Zobots, what they basically do is that they maintain a conversation with the user in natural language. They, understand the intent of the user, and they send a response based on business rules and data of the organization. And they can be run on both websites and on mobile applications. So that's the best part. So let me tell you how the Zobot is built. Okay. So first, there is a chat interface for user interactions on the website or mobile application. This is where hundreds of message exchanges take place between the Zobot and the visitors who land on your website. Then there's a bot engine where you can design the bots to work as per your business needs. This is where all of the functionalities of the bot or, basically its working is defined. So the bot engine will decide the flow of the bot. So this is the second part of the Zobot. Then the third part, when the bot is handling conversations with any of the visitors who have landed on your website, it collects a lot of data, right? So in case you need to look at this data later, or you want to use it for some other purpose, it has to be stored in a place. That's the database. So the data that is collected by the Zobot is stored inside SalesIQ. You also have the option to create a connection from Zoho SalesIQ to an external service or any database like CRM to store your data. So this database will be necessary to store all of the visitor insights that are collected by the chatbot. By this I mean details like visitor name, email, contact number, or location, appointment schedule, tickets, etc. Okay, so Zoho SalesIQ basically provides you a chat interface, a bot engine, and a database all under one roof. Okay. So now we'll move on to how to add a Zobot. Okay, I'll tell you how to set it up inside the Zoho SalesIQ portal. So I hope all of you guys will be building along with me. Okay, so inside the SalesIQ portal, we'll be navigating to settings and then to Zobot, and then we'll click on Add Bot. Okay, so I hope all of you are with me. We'll start setting it up. So I'm going to give my bot a name. So it's mandatory to give the bot a name. It's better if the name of your bot corresponds with what it will actually be helping your visitors with. And you can also give it a description. Okay. And then you will choose the website. So this is where the website that you had created just now using Weebly or Zoho sites will come into place. So you will choose that website, and that is where the Zobot will start taking up chats from visitors. Okay, and then once you've chosen the website, you will proceed to choosing departments that you want the bot to take up chats for. So here I have 4 departments configured for my website, so I can choose departments according to my choice. Okay, so I can either choose to configure the Zobot for just 2 departments or 3 or just 1, anything like that. It's totally up to me. So in a similar way, the departments that you choose are totally up to you. Okay. Once departments are chosen, we'll go on to the specifics. So the first one is choosing the visitor type. So the purpose of this section is to set up criteria for visitors who you want the bots to handle chats for. Okay. So once you set criteria here, when a visitor lands on the website, the Zobot will check the criteria that has been set here and the criteria of the visitor who has landed on your website, and it will correspondingly trigger messages or perform actions. Okay, so we're going to be setting the type of visitors who will be assisted by the Zobot on your website. So I'll just click on, so anytime you create a new bot, there will be a default criteria that will be set. Okay, so the default criteria is set to all visitors. You can either stick to that or you can choose any other criteria from a huge list. Okay, so when you click on modify criteria, you come to this window and you can see a huge list of criteria provided by SalesIQ. So you can choose one according to your choice. So let me just say I'm going to let the bot trigger messages to visitors who have had chats with the operators of my organization for say 4 times. Okay, so the number of past chats will be equal to 4. Only when the number of past chats is equal to 4, my bot will trigger a message to that visitor. So here you can filter down visitors furthermore by setting up multiple criteria. Okay, so you can click on or and you can add more criteria like this. okay? In case you want to filter them, more accurately, you can use the or and you can add additional conditions. So I'm just going to stick to one condition now. And once I'm done setting up the condition, I'll click on apply, okay? So whatever criteria you have set will be displayed here. Following that, we will configure when we want the bot to trigger messages to visitors landing on the website. So this can either be when visitors land on your website and they spend more than so and so time. This can be seconds or minutes, or when they click on the chat widget, or when they perform a custom action or initiate a chat. So I'm going to be setting it to land on your site and spend more than 3 seconds because, say I don't want to keep them waiting. I'm going to reduce it. So you can set this according to your requirements. Following that, we will set up working hours for the Zobot. So this can be either round the clock. If you want your bot to function around the clock 24/7, take up chats at any time, any place, you can set it to 24/7, or you can configure it to function only during standard business hours or non-business hours, or just when the operators are offline during business hours, okay? So I'll just set it to 24/7. Then the bot typing status. Okay, so once the message comes in from the visitor's side, the visitor will want to know if the bot received it and it is trying to respond or not, right? So for that, we'll set up the bot typing status. So this will be displayed as 3 dots inside the chat window, representing that the chat has been handled by the Zobot and it is typing in a reply to be sent to the visitor. So that way visitors will know if the bot is responding to their query or not. So this I'm going to set to immediate. So once a reply comes in or a question comes in from the visitor side, we'll immediately show the chat typing status of the Zobot. So then there is handoff. So inside the SalesIQ live chat widget, when the Zobot is handling chats for website visitors, there is also an option where website visitors can switch talking from the Zobot to talking to an operator from inside your organization. So that is where allow handoff will come into place. When you enable this toggle for allow handoff, it will show an option that will let visitors connect to human operators while they're in the middle of a conversation with the Zobot. So this is possible when the Zobot is taking up chats. Once this option is chosen by the visitor, the chat will be forwarded to operators inside your organization, to all of the available operators inside your organization, and then one of them can pick it up and answer the query. Okay, so I'm going to be allowing handoff. If you don't want to let your visitors connect to operators, you can also disable it, but I'm going to enable handoff. The final step will be choosing the platform using which you are going to build your Zobot. Okay, so there are 5 different platforms that are offered by Zoho SalesIQ. You have SalesIQ scripts, you have Zia Skills, Dialogflow, Watson Assistant, and you also have webhooks. So I'll tell you how each of these work. I'll tell you about them. So first, about building a Zobot using SalesIQ scripts. The SalesIQ script is a bot building platform that uses Deluge as the online scripting language. So Deluge might be a new term to a lot of you. Deluge is Zoho's low-code online scripting language. Okay, so since it's just rapid application development, there's no talking. Okay, so this is more and more of actions and lots of testing. So this Deluge builder has a very user-friendly interface, which I will show you shortly. So you can drag and drop elements inside the builder. Okay, so if you want a completely bot-driven conversation and you want to be able to customize your bot from scratch, you can choose a very powerful SalesIQ platform. I'll tell you how it works. Okay, so a visitor lands on the website. If this visitor matches the criteria that is set inside the Zobot, then the bot will trigger a message. Okay, so this is like a personalized chat invite. If not, it doesn't trigger a message and the visitor must proceed to initiating a chat with the Zobot. That is, they have to send in a message to get the Zobot talking. So when the visitor sends out a message, the message handler will come into play. It checks if the context in the message exists, and if it does, it collects all of the inputs that it can find in the message. Otherwise, it looks for another message that matches the existing context. Once the message handler is successfully executed, the context handler will be invoked. This will perform actions on behalf of the visitor on the back end. So the three handlers are the backbone based on which the Zobot functions. Okay. So you have one handler called as the trigger handler. So this will send out like personalized, proactive chat invites to visitors who land on the website in case they match the criteria. And then you have the message handler, which is a part of reactive engagement by the bot. So when a message comes in from the visitor's side, the bot will start responding. So this is pretty much like a call center. Okay. So when you call a call center and you ask them a question, you tell them what your problem is, they respond with a query. So that's exactly how the message handler functions. Then the context handler, which is like a traditional web form, but more conversational. Okay. So in a web form, you collect a lot of data to perform a single action, right? The context handler inside the Zobot will perform this action more conversationally. So it will collect a lot of inputs from the visitors on your website in a conversational manner, and then it will proceed to performing an action like fixing an appointment or whatever it is that you want to do with the Zobot. Okay. Following that, you have Zia Skills that uses the natural language understanding. So this is an NLP bot and it's Zoho's own product that you can use to process and perform your defined skills and actions to respond to any visitor queries. You can define a unique set of actions depending upon your requirements. So this is the same thing. So when the visitor visits the website and matches the trigger rule, a trigger message will be triggered. Okay. Otherwise, the website visitor has to initiate a message and then params will be checked and the bot will collect all of the inputs in the params. And there are three different functions that are used inside Zia Skills. You have param loader, you have context handler function and execution function. So this might be sounding like Greek and Latin to you, but don't worry. We are just going to be briefing you about all of the platforms in this webinar. In the upcoming webinars, we'll tell you about each and every platform that we have. Okay, so we'll have detailed webinars on all of these platforms. So for now, I'm just telling you about what platforms are available and how you can use them and all that. So you have three different functions: param loader, context handler, and execution function. So Zia Skills basically functions with skills and actions that you configure. Okay, so this is similar to Dialogflow. I'm not sure how many of you know about Dialogflow. So Dialogflow is also an NLP assistant. So this is similar to Dialogflow, but this is an offering from Zoho. Okay, and then you have Dialogflow, which is an end-to-end development suite for building conversational interfaces. It is also powered by machine learning. It's Google's offering for bot building. Okay, so this uses machine learning to recognize the intent and context of what a user says to provide very, very accurate responses. So in Dialogflow, I'll tell you how you train the bot. Okay, so you have something called intents, wherein you include training phrases. Training phrases are basically samples of what visitors on a website can ask the Zobot. So you basically train the Zobot with these training phrases, sample questions, and you then publish it on the website to handle queries that come in from actual humans. Okay, so basically Dialogflow is built on intents and training phrases. So this is how this Dialogflow bot functions. When a visitor visits the website, matches the trigger rule, a trigger message is sent, and when the visitor responds with a message, the bot will check with the intent if the content in the messages matches the content inside the intent. If it matches, it collects the parameters inside the message sent in by the visitor. Otherwise, it will return something called as the fallback intent, which is a default response when the message does not match with training phrases in the intent. And coming back to when the message matches the intent, So then it will collect parameters, it will check for fulfillment configurations, and in case there are any fulfillment configurations, it will respond with a fulfillment response, or it will return a default response. Okay. And then finally you have the Watson Assistant platform that allows developers and non-technical users to collaborate on building conversational AI-powered assistants, and this has been widely used for bot building lately. This is an offering by IBM. And then finally, you also have webhooks. So I'm not sure how many of you have already, built a bot engine. So in case you have a fully built bot engine and a service platform, these webhooks inside Zoho SalesIQ will act as a connection between the two. So only if you have a bot engine that is already built, you can make use of webhooks. But I'd recommend you to stick to building a Zobot with SalesIQ scripts, because that's where you can customize the bot from scratch according to whatever you require for your website. Right, so you can configure it to do any action that you wanted to, so that the conversation with the website visitors will be completely bot driven. Okay, so that's pretty much about all of the basics of what you need to know before you start building a Zobot. So in the upcoming sessions, we will have we'll give you details about every platform that you can build Zobots with, and how you can establish connections, how you can use templates, and so much more. Okay, so I'm hoping to see you in the next session. Thank you so much, guys.